should Brock Purdy just play out his contract? I mean, he could sign like a glorified Sam Darnold deal right now, or he could come back and have a great year and get the Dak Prescott deal. Like, do you think he should play out his contract? Do you think the 49ers should make him play out his contract?
I mean, I feel like I always hear people saying that the ball's in the 49ers court. And every time I do, I completely don't get it, because in this era that we're in now, in the player empowerment era, he can just decide, you know what? I'm not playing. And if he doesn't play, the Niners are screwed. Like, there's nothing else. Like, they can't just put in Mac and suddenly win games. Maybe that's a crazy take.
Let's stay there. Let's discuss it. If Brock holds out, are the 49ers screwed? I can see why you say that. Counterpoint, they were 6-9 with him last year. They weren't great with him last year. Like, could they go 6-9 with Mac Jones? Maybe.
I mean, maybe they could.
Maybe.
I think the big issue is you're completely alienating the locker room in particular, too. And I think that if everyone's like, dude, you're not going to pay Brock, I think maybe the team chem gets off, and that's so important to me.
Okay, let's stay there for a second. That's a great point. If you don't pay him, you throw off the team chemistry, and you think that they think that you're disrespecting Brock, who's one of them. What if it's spun the other way? Like, hey, they made an offer that was more than fair to Brock. They were going to pay him more than $40 million a year. They were going to make him the highest paid player on the team, and he thinks he wants more. Is it possible the locker room for the first time looks at Brock and is like, dude, why are you being so greedy? I thought you weren't going to be like Brandon Ayuk. I'm just arguing here. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know.
I get that point. I think the thing is, though, is that the guys in the locker room, Kittle has openly said in plenty of quotes that when contracts are happening, they keep that to themselves, and they're like, okay, it's business time and stuff like that. Obviously, we're not there, so maybe they do in the background be like, look at this guy. Are you kidding me? He's trying to get 60. God damn. I wouldn't be surprised if they were doing that, because it is a pretty insane amount of money. But this guy just said in the chat, and this is exactly what I think will happen if it doesn't happen. Diva Brock will come out. Diva Brock, I think, is a thing that can happen, and he's going to be like, listen, man, I've been the lowest paid quarterback for all of my career in the NFL, and I'm not the lowest paid quarterback at all. I should not be. And I can't blame him for saying that, and I'm not even high on Brock. I don't even love Brock that much, but I get it.
I just can't think of that many quarterbacks who really got the bag, the 5-year, $50+ million per year deal coming off a season like Brock had. Now, if he had been eligible for the extension in 2023, yeah, I could see. I mean, Jordan Love got the extension off of basically a good 10-game stretch. So Purdy, this is just bad timing, because all of a sudden now he's eligible for it, and you went 6-9 and got hurt twice, and you threw a bunch of picks in the second half. You threw more picks in the second half than you threw touchdown passes.
Oh,
so
bad.
How do you ask for that money now? It seems like you put yourself in the Sam Darnold position now, where you kind of look like a one-year wonder. You don't have a lot of leverage, and you could sort of take whatever team-friendly slap-in-the-face deal they offer you, or you could do what Lamar did and come back and play out the final year of your rookie deal and prove your worth. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with that, and I hope he does, because to me, if he takes that deal that the Niners give him, that 3-year deal, I'm assuming that's what it is, glorified Darnold deal, it's telling me that he thinks that he knows he's not top 10 quarterback, and he's just happy to be in a position to make this kind of money where he never really thought he would as the Mr. Irrelevant. The way he's carried himself forever is that he thinks he's the truth. I want him to act like it.
That's fair. Do you really think the Niners would offer him a 3-year deal, though? I feel like they're guaranteed to give him the max amount of time they can, 5 to 6 years.
It could be a 9-year deal, but I don't think there's going to be any guaranteed money after year 2. And I think they're going to be able to get out of it after a couple of years. The Darnold deal, it's a 3-year deal, but there's no guaranteed money after year 1. I don't think. I mean, I'm not saying he's not a franchise quarterback, Brock, but I think there's enough of a question after this last year to wonder, is he going to bounce back and be the 2023 Purdy essentially for the rest of his career, and this was just a blip, or is this what it's going to look like when he's making a lot of money and the team around him isn't as great? I don't know.
Yeah, is this season going to be the worst team he's ever had? I think it is going to be. It
could be.
And that's
are we expecting a great year from him, given that? I mean, I don't know that he elevates teams the way the top 7-8 quarterbacks do.
Yeah, I can see your point there, but at the same time, even when I'm not that high on him, he is pretty damn good. I have to give him some props. He can
right. So keep him.
Yeah.
So keep him. And if he comes back this year and balls out, and you have to pay him more next year, you could kick yourself because you'd be like, man, we could have had him way cheaper last year and we blew it. Or you could say that's the price of getting evidence and confirmation and making sure you make the right decision.
So, but what if this is the mentality they come with, and then come week 1 of training camp, Brock's holding out?
Okay, let's talk about that.
What happens then?
Now you potentially save yourself a lot of money. Okay, it looks like it's looking like it may not be an extension, or it'll happen at the end of the. I mean, you're not going to win the Super Bowl anyway this year. Let's talk about that. It's not like, oh damn, we can't win the Super Bowl because Brock. Even if he's there from day one, this team has like $85 million in dead cap. They're just trying to make the playoffs and keep it respectable until 2026. So I'll say that. The other thing is that I think they could do pretty well with Mac Jones. Like if Mac Jones were the quarterback in 2023, I think they could have lost the Super Bowl. If Sam Darnold were the quarterback in 2023, I think they could have lost the Super Bowl. This is a team that lost the Super Bowl with Jimmy, man.
Yeah, they did lose with Jimmy. They
lost with Jimmy, and I think Mac's better than Jimmy. I think Darnold's better than Jimmy. I think Brock's better than Jimmy. I mean, this is a team that's very much about the defense and the run game and the play action. And even with Brock's, all of his mobility, which is great, when this team is clicking, they don't need him to be mobile. They need him to give the freaking ball to Christian, or fake giving the ball to Christian and turn around and throw the ball to the wide open receiver 10 yards over the middle most of the time. And Jimmy could do that, dude. I think Matt can do that. And the fact that he could do it for like $3.5 million a year is intriguing. Although, even though he's cheap, it's not like the Niners are going to spend that money on the rest of their freaking team this year. So his cheapness doesn't really matter. But anyway, I still think Matt could do it. I think he could fit this off. Matt Ryan fit this freaking system. I think Mac Jones and his heavy feet could do it. I think I'm trying to talk myself into it. I don't stop talking.
You're doing that. I think you're really trying to get yourself into it. I mean, you just compared Matt Ryan, a future Hall of Fame
when he may have more in common with like Josh Rosen. It could be bad.
I mean, not even that. It's just like you mentioned a Hall of Fame guy who's like totally past his prime, and then you mentioned
I was really working it there. I was trying to sell it.
I get it. You
laid it on thick.
Yeah. You laid it on thick. You got to do that sometimes, but I don't see it.
Mac Jones and Milroe, Alabama quarterbacks, man. I'm all about them.
Honestly, I don't even see the difference between the two. I think
they're pretty much the same guy.
They both are really fast. I mean, Mac, like I said, he showed it in the Pro Bowl. Like, I don't know, pretty identical.
Yeah, that's true. It's true. I think Mac Jones is the next dual threat quarterback. I'd like to see Mac Jones and Brock Purdy at least, practicing the zone read this offseason. Why not? When you have wheels like that.
I mean, you might as well. Honestly, let's get some designated quarterback runs. Like, let me
ask you a question about Brock. What tier of quarterback would you put him in? Like, I'm not telling you to rank him, although I do have a ranking. If you have a ranking, I think I have a ranking. But like, who are the quarterbacks that would you say are essentially right there with him?
So he's kind of got one of those weird tiers to me where he's not like an elite, like a Lamar, a Josh Allen, a Joe Burrow. Like, he's definitely not that. But I would probably say he's in the category below that. I'm trying to think of a few names that would be similar. A part of me wants to say Geno, but
I would agree.
Yeah,
I would agree with that.
I disagree with it. Maybe his like pure just football IQ and his ability maybe is like a little better than Geno's, but Geno kind of killed him a little bit last year. Like Jordan Love, that's another one that could be comparable. But it's kind of like this second tier of quarterbacks, which I get. Yeah, well, Tua, I don't even know. Tua
whooped his ass in Miami a few months ago. I was there for that.
Did.
I know they don't play each other, but I would say Kyler. Maybe I'm just a hater. I would say Kyler. I would say Darnold, frankly.
I think Darnold might be a reach, but like based on how he performed last year, I see where you're putting him. It's just like, especially with that like contract being no guaranteed money, I feel like it shows that teams aren't like
would the Vikings have been better with Purdy last year? Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. It's a fair question.
And people be like, well, Purdy's done so much in the playoffs. Like, yeah, but Jimmy did the same stuff in the playoffs. Now, Purdy's numbers were better, sure, but their records the same. I mean, they went to the same places. They lost to the same games, to the same teams in the same way. So I don't know how much stock I put into Purdy's playoff resume. I don't know.
Is there another question I have now is like, since there's all these quarterbacks that we're naming, has there been a time in the league where there were like this many really talented quarterbacks? Because I feel like there's so many guys nowadays that like are really good. And I know, for example, you're not a big fan of Baker Mayfield, but like Baker.
Connor, how old are you?
Okay. All right. I'm 23.
Is there a time? How about like 15 years ago, man, when like Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers, young Aaron Rodgers,
Yeah.
Tom Brady.
Mhm.
When you had like Brett Favre hanging around at the end.
So I love this idea, but like I said, you're naming like this is like 5 or 6 guys. I can name like 13 or 14 quarterbacks in the league right now that I would consider are like top talents, and any team would want them.
True. And I think what's cool about the difference, like back the era I was talking about, Manning, Breeze, and Brady in particular would beat you without moving, which was very cool to see. It was incredible. Not very many people could do it. There's almost no one that even tries to play like that anymore. Now you have scramblers at minimum, and some guys who are straight up running backs like Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts. I like where the league is going. I grew up on Steve Young though, so I like mobile quarterbacks.
I do too. I love a mobile quarterback, but I remember seeing Tom Brady talk about this last season, in particular, about like how quarterbacks nowadays, they're unwilling to kind of do the nitty gritty that like him, Peyton, and Drew did, of like really telling their receivers like, I need you this way, and not doing like something I remember seeing never really in the past, like like hospital passes. Nowadays, hospital passes are all the time. Like they're getting their receivers murdered on some of these passes.
Right.
And back in the old days, Tom's like, hell no, I don't want my guy to be dead. Like, I'm not throwing that ball. Nowadays, they're like, sure, give it to him, and then boom, just steel on steel, car on car, murder. Like, just not
It's true.
okay.
It's true. Ronnie Lott, that's what he did.